Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. I recently did a video talking about Rali Ceredigion, the European Rally Championship penultimate round that was also the penultimate round of the British Rally Championship. This video is one of those sort of one-shot videos I've been doing a bit more of recently because I do enjoy making this kind of content. It brings me back to when I started doing this channel 11 years ago. And what I want to do in this video is just talk about the BRC broadcast for it. Because I've been following the British Rally Championships broadcast of these events since they started doing it last season. And what I find really interesting is how they are able to put the broadcast product together. I'm not going to talk necessarily for a particularly long time about the event itself because, well, I've talked about it already. It's linked down below. If you want to know more about what I was thinking with it, you can find that there. But what I want to point out is that the highlights reel that is put together for the BRC is twice as long as the ERC's equivalent. Now, why do I want to point that out? The main reason why I want to point that out is because of the fact that there's less to cover with the British Rally Championship. With the European Championship, you get the stuff from the British Championship off the bat. However, what you also have is the European battles, the people who just pop up on the local scene every round. If you told me the one was 26 minutes and one was 46 minutes, I'd usually think it'd be the other way around, you know? I'd usually think that it's more likely that the BRC round and the coverage for the BRC round would be 20-25 minutes, because you've already got a dozen or so top class entrants, whereas you tend to have at least double that for the European one. But that wasn't the case, and it's actually quite impressive when you think about it that they were able to put together a 46-minute package when the WRC's broadcaster was already able to put together about half of that. Now, part of it does get padded out with the fan cam stuff, which they don't really do in the ERC. I love they do it in the BRC. It's quite nice, and it gives the fan some kind of involvement as well. Gives you a reason to sit down and watch it, especially if you're like myself and you follow the European Rally Championship. I was following a lot of Rali Ceredigion live. So, the fact that I felt like I could sit down and watch 45 minutes of something I'd already watched live, yeah, I was impressed with how different the broadcast was able to be, especially considering that, what was it? You have two of the podium finishers were BRC entrants, with John Armstrong having stepped in to do a double duty for M Sport, as Robert Jurgensen was also doing double duty in the other direction. I mean, you also have Crichton. You also have, I can't remember off the top of my head right now as I'm doing it, if Price was entered for BRC as well. Callum Black definitely was. But I was impressed with how they managed to put it all together. It's props to them for being able to do something like that. And I think we need more like that. Now, what I'm going to suggest is actually probably an unhealthy working practice. It'd be nice if we could get that highlight reel out sooner. Either the day of, because the WRC can do it. The ERC, I don't think does do it, but it could. Or if not, then you get it out in the next couple of days. At the latest, it should be the following Sunday. But I think they wait a week and a half to get the BRC ones out. Now, that's probably something that's pre-arranged, but it'd be nice if it came out sooner, because then it means that you have fans who are more likely to be engaged on the spot, whereas the BRC do end up doing live broadcasts of some of the stages. So it's good for the more casual fans who want to sit down and watch something. It fills the same kind of spot that, well, the terrestrial broadcast of the WRC highlights does, which ITV also cover in the UK. But for the fan who wants to know how the drivers got on, they're more likely to turn to something like Facebook. Especially if the result comes out sooner. I mean, for me, part of the thing is I can't necessarily wait for the result, because I want to know what's been going on for it, especially for the likes of Jurgensen, or in this case, John Armstrong. Because these drivers I follow, I usually get the BRC results within half an hour of the final stage, because I'll open my Instagram, and if the BRC haven't posted it themselves, the drivers will have. So, I don't want to encourage, with whatever platform I have, some kind of unhealthy practice where you're putting journalists into and editors into a massive crunch period. But I think if there was a way to get that program out sooner, if it's a midweek show a couple of days later, or a weekend show, like what ITV used to do with Speed Sunday, which I know it's rosy to spectacles, but it's what I enjoyed watching as a kid, it could work. But there's my thoughts and feelings. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. As always, folks, thank you so much for watching and joining. And until next time, it's bye for now.